Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, both of you, for your work. I think that whether it is in the agriculture area, whether it's in manufacturing, whether it is in our nursing homes or hospitals, it is very clear that we need reform. I am been a long supporter of comprehensive immigration reform. That was part of the original deal we had back when Bush was president, where we had a few Democrats in the room, and we also had Senator Graham, I remember, in the room. Then we had the bill that when Senator Grassley and Senator Leahy were leading the committee that passed through this committee. And then recently, Senator Rounds, during President Trump's time, led a group that we came up with an agreement that would have greatly helped on this front, but unfortunately, President Trump didn't support it. And so now we are where we are, and three times we came close. And I believe we need a reform that includes agriculture workers, but also includes other things like doctors and nurses and healthcare aides and the like. And I just don't think we're going to be able to wait anymore. I'll start with you, Mr. Lynch. You discussed how you've been unable to fill all of your job openings with American workers. Last year, Minnesota had 6.9 job openings for every 100 jobs in the state, the third highest job vacancy rate since the state started tracking data. It's the number one concern I hear in rural Minnesota, not just in ag, but with restaurants, manufacturing, and the like. I'm proud of our good economy in our state, but it's getting to the point, especially in some of our healthcare settings, where we simply don't have enough workers. As a business owner, could you talk about what challenges you faced? And also, last year, Senators Cornyn, Coons, Tillis, and I urged the administration to fix the backlogs that keep seasonal workers and businesses that rely on them waiting. Could you talk about that and what happens when there's a processing delay?
I'll be glad to. Thanks for the question. Similar to the story that Chairman Durbin shared about Shay Myers mentioning a couple years ago his issues with asparagus, we had the same issue on our farm December of 21. We had 120 workers scheduled to come on December the 10th. There was delays at the State Department processing their visas, most of workers that were all returning. We had about 160 acres of broccoli that was ready to harvest that we completely lost. We're unable to harvest. Our loss on that field of broccoli, or those fields of broccoli, totaled somewhere around $600,000, which was a significant hit on our crop and ultimately led to us losing pretty significant money for the season just because we lost that much because we did not have the workers to harvest it. So I think one of my concerns going forward with the new OEWS wage desegregation, and one of the issues that could create is like one of the issues that Chalmers mentioned on the increase in applications. So I think a lot of employers are looking to do that. They're having to desegregate, list these different jobs on different contracts. And I'm worried that there's already significant delays within both DOL and at the State Department that this could create an even worse backlog. So that's a major concern going forward.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Tellefson-Torres, you talked about human trafficking and how there have been ag workers that have fallen victim to that. Senator Cornyn and I led the Abolish Trafficking Reauthorization Act, clearly a priority of this committee to move forward. What additional protections are necessary to protect farm workers from human trafficking?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator. Well, we're here also talking about the need for legalization with a path to citizenship for farm workers who are here undocumented. We're talking about the dignity of all farm workers, and so H-2A workers who are coming into this country need to be able to understand that they can enforce the law themselves. And so this is why there is a need for equal rights, for the opportunity for H-2A workers to enforce their own rights. And really impose joint liability between employers, farm labor contractors, and recruiters to prohibit recruiting fees, prohibit wage theft, to ensure that all of the different layers within the ownership and the people who are employing these folks understand that there shouldn't be any shenanigans, that farm workers are here and need to be protected. So we really feel that it's necessary to have H-2A workers be part of the Migrant and Seasonal Agricultural Worker Protection Act. They're excluded at this point. We're not sure why. Why are farmers who have only domestic workers having to abide by this act, and those who are bringing in H-2A guest workers not having to abide by one of the only federal protections that covers farm workers? Okay. And so there's a lot that needs to be done.
Oh, that's for sure. So thank you. And I do hope, Chairman, as we work on these, that we also, in addition to getting the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that I strongly support, that we look at other issues I raised with H-2Bs, with the healthcare area, our Conrad 30 bill, and the like. When we look at this, we look at other areas as well where we need to add more workers. It's just becoming a near crisis point in my state.